Have you ever wondered why, despite the certainty of death, human behavior often suggests ignorance of this reality? More than 150,000 people draw their final breath daily, underscoring the stark, unflinching reality of life's transience. Yet this shared fate, this common denominator of existence, is something that many of us rarely contemplate in our day-to-day lives. We're all part of an intricate tapestry of life, bound by the inevitability of mortality. Yet how often do we find ourselves embroiled in conflicts, causing emotional or physical pain to others and ourselves? Could it be that in these moments, we're failing to grasp the profound fragility and fleetingness of life? Perhaps the key to understanding our shared existence lies in acknowledging four universal truths: cause and effect, impermanence, suffering and attachment, and finally, the inevitability of death. These truths urge us to shoulder responsibility for our actions, to treasure transient moments, and to let go of attachments that breed suffering. Impermanence, for instance, isn't about dwelling in the past or fearing the future. Rather, it's about embracing the now, relishing each moment, no matter how big or small, and recognizing its contribution to the grand tapestry of life. And then, there's death. Often viewed as a tragic finale, it can instead be seen as an integral part of our human journey. It binds us together, serving as a poignant reminder that our time here is finite and precious. In this shared odyssey of joy, love, and loss, we're nudged towards treating one another with kindness and making every single moment count. So the next time we're on the brink of lashing out in anger or holding on to grudges, perhaps it's worth pausing to remember the frailty of life. To choose instead to cherish the present, to love deeply, to laugh with abandon, and to immerse ourselves fully in each fleeting moment. As we delve into these universal truths, we might begin to see life and death from a different perspective. The first truth is cause and effect, also known as karma in some philosophies. This principle is straightforward, yet it carries profound implications. It suggests that every action we take, every decision we make, sets off a ripple of consequences, like a pebble tossed into a quiet pond. Imagine life as a vast interconnected web. Each strand is an action, an event, a decision, and each intersection is a consequence, a result, a reaction. When we tug on one strand, the entire web vibrates. That's cause and effect in action. Now, this doesn't mean that every effect is a direct result of a specific cause. Life isn't a simple equation, but it does mean that our actions have consequences, some of which are predictable, others not so much. And this unpredictability is part of the charm and challenge of life. Understanding cause and effect reminds us of our responsibility. Each of us has the power to influence the world around us, for better or worse. Toss a pebble of kindness, and it can create ripples of goodwill. Throw a stone of anger, and it can cause waves of pain. But there's another side to this truth. It's not just about the impact we have on the world, it's also about the impact the world has on us. We're not just creators of causes, we're receivers of effects. And understanding this can help us navigate the world with more empathy and resilience. So how can we apply this truth to our lives? It starts with being mindful of our actions, of the pebbles we're tossing into the pond of life. It means considering the potential consequences before we act. It means taking responsibility for our actions and accepting the consequences that follow. And it means understanding that we're not alone in this web of cause and effect. We're all interconnected, all influencing and being influenced, all part of this grand, complex dance of life. By understanding that every action has a consequence, we can navigate life with more wisdom and foresight. The second truth is impermanence, the constant flux of life. Impermanence is a fundamental truth of our existence. It's the recognition of the ceaseless ebb and flow of life, the constant dance of creation and dissolution. Every breath we take, every heartbeat, every sunrise and sunset, they are all reminders of this relentless rhythm of life. Think about it. The very cells that make up our bodies are in a state of continuous change. They are born, they live, and they die, only to be replaced by new ones. This process of constant transformation is not just limited to us. It's happening all around us, in every leaf that changes color, in every wave that crashes onto the shore, in every gust of wind that rustles through the trees. This might sound unsettling, the idea that nothing is permanent, that everything we know and love is in a state of flux. But it's this very impermanence that makes life so precious. When we truly grasp the concept of impermanence, we begin to see the world differently. We start to appreciate the fleeting moments of joy, the ephemeral beauty of a sunset, the transient laughter shared with loved ones. We start to cherish the now because we understand that it won't last forever. But how often do we get so caught up in the past or the future that we forget to live in the present? How often do we take for granted the beauty of the world around us, the joy of shared experiences, the simple pleasure of a warm cup of coffee on a cold day? Impermanence is a call to mindfulness. It's an invitation to live fully in the present, to savor each moment, to appreciate the beauty in the transient. It's a reminder that every moment is unique, never to be repeated. Embracing impermanence is not about resigning ourselves to loss or change. It's about learning to appreciate the beauty of the moment while it lasts, about finding joy in the transient, about cherishing the now. When we accept that nothing lasts forever, we can fully appreciate the beauty of each fleeting moment. The third truth is suffering and attachment, two sides of the same coin. This truth delves into the intricate relationship between the suffering we experience and the attachments we hold. Let's consider this. Why does the loss of a loved one cause us so much pain? It's not merely the absence of their presence, but the attachment we've formed with them that deepens our suffering. We've intertwined their existence with our happiness, and when they're no longer there, it feels as though a part of us is missing. This is not to say that we should avoid forming attachments. On the contrary, human connections are a beautiful and essential part of life. But it's crucial to recognize that these attachments, if clung to too tightly, can lead to suffering. This is where the understanding of impermanence becomes invaluable. When we truly grasp that everything in life is transient, we can begin to appreciate our connections without letting them define our happiness. We love deeply, yet we understand that nothing is permanent. We enjoy the presence of our loved ones, yet we know that one day they will no longer be with us. In the same way, our attachment to material possessions, to status, to our self-perceptions, can also cause suffering. When we place our happiness in the hands of things that are inherently impermanent, we set ourselves up for disappointment and pain. So, how do we navigate this? How do we form connections and find joy in life without becoming entangled in the web of attachment? The answer lies in mindfulness and presence. By being fully present in each moment, we can appreciate and enjoy it for what it is, without clinging to it. We can cherish the laughter of a loved one, the warmth of the sun on our skin, the taste of our favorite food, without fearing their loss. We can recognize the beauty in every fleeting moment and find joy in its impermanence. By letting go of our attachments, we can free ourselves from unnecessary suffering and find true peace. The fourth and final truth is the inevitability of death, a universal reality often dreaded and denied. How many of us wake up each day knowing that death is inevitable, yet living as if we have infinite tomorrows? If we truly grasp the certainty of death, wouldn't we live differently? Death is often seen as the ultimate enemy, something to be feared, delayed, and fought against. This perception, while understandable, can lead us into a state of denial, preventing us from fully experiencing life. Death is not a desolate end, but rather a natural part of our existence. It is the final act in the grand drama of life, a finale that gives meaning and context to everything that came before. Consider for a moment if we were immortal. Life would lose its urgency, its vibrancy. The beauty of a sunset, the joy of a shared laugh, the satisfaction of a job well done, all these experiences are heightened by the knowledge that they are fleeting. It is the finiteness of life that makes each moment precious and worth savoring. Embracing the inevitability of death can lead to profound shifts in our perspective. It can move us to resolve conflicts, forgive old grudges, and express love more freely. It can inspire us to live with greater intention, to make each day count, and to fill our lives with purpose and meaning. This is not to say that we should live in constant fear of death or dwell on its inevitability. Rather, by acknowledging death as a part of life, we can free ourselves from the fear that often surrounds it. We can face each day with courage, knowing that our time is limited, yet precious. In the grand tapestry of existence, our lives are but a single thread. Each moment, each interaction, is a stitch in time, contributing to the overall pattern. And it is by accepting the inevitability of death, we can weave a life of beauty, significance, and joy. In accepting death as an integral part of life, we can live more fully, cherishing each moment with greater intensity. In the light of these truths, how can we reflect on our own mortality? This question beckons us to take a step back, to ponder, and to evaluate the true nature of our existence. We've embarked upon a journey through the universal truths of cause and effect, impermanence, suffering and attachment, and the inevitability of death. These truths, while at times daunting, reveal the precious and fragile essence of life. We've seen that every action has a reaction, every cause an effect. This understanding urges us to be more mindful of our actions, recognizing that we are not isolated beings, but interconnected parts of a larger whole. Our choices, words, and actions ripple through the world, affecting not just us, but those around us too. Impermanence, the second truth, reminds us that change is the only constant. Nothing in life is permanent, not our joys nor our sorrows. This truth encourages us to savor the present, to cherish each moment, knowing it will not last forever. Then comes the truth of suffering and attachment. We've learned that our attachments often lead to suffering, as we cling to what is impermanent and fleeting. Letting go, while difficult, can free us from this cycle of suffering and grant us peace. Finally, we've confronted the inevitability of death. This truth, often shunned, is a powerful reminder of life's transience, connecting us all in the shared human experience. It urges us to make the most of our limited time, to live with purpose, and to treat each other with kindness. Reflecting on our mortality is not about dwelling on the end, but about understanding the value of the journey. It's about recognizing that life is fleeting and hence precious. It's about making choices that enrich not just our lives, but also the lives of those around us. As we contemplate our mortality, may we strive to make every moment count, treating each other with kindness and living with purpose.